Welcome friends to a new session from the paper Pedagogic Practices in Natural Science. In this session, we will have a discussion on continuous and comprehensive evaluation, evaluation criteria for assignment, seminar and project, and evaluation of non-cognitive area from the main theme evaluation in science. Evaluation in science. Let us first see what is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Examinations are an indispensable part of the educational process. Educationalists worldwide have suggested the need for examination reforms to make the assessment as an integral part of the learning process so that both learning and assessment is stress-free. Keeping the above in view, the National Policy on Education 1986 emphasized the need for continuous and comprehensive evaluation to facilitate active and meaningful learning in classrooms, stating that continuous and comprehensive evaluation that incorporates both scholastic and non-scholastic aspects of evaluation spread over the total span of instructional time should be followed. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation, or CCE, refers to a system of school-based evaluation of student that covers all aspects of student development. It aims at the elimination of chance element and subjectivity, de-emphasis on memorization, encouraging comprehensive evaluation, incorporating both scholastic and co-scholastic aspects of learners' development. As you can see, the term means evaluation, which is continuous as well as comprehensive. We will start with a short discussion on evaluation. Evaluation is an appraisal of something to determine its worth or fitness. But what is the role of evaluation in education? See one definition of evaluation. According to Good, evaluation is a process of ascertaining or judging the value or amount of something by careful appraisal. He further clarifies that values imply the outcome of the learning activity, whereas amount signifies the acquisition of knowledge and skill. It means that evaluation concerns itself with scholastic achievement as well as with behavior changes. The Department of Educational Measurement and Evaluation, a division of NCERT, views evaluation as a powerful, inexpensive, valid and reliable instrument for assessing students' performance with regard to their growth, development and achievement in different areas. Besides, evaluation is to be used as an effective instructional strategy for bringing about qualitative improvement in education. The department also visualizes that the evaluation process must be humane, learner-friendly, transparent, stress-free and credible. So, evaluation in education may be described as a process by means of which changes in behavior of children are studied and guided towards predetermined objectives. Evaluation not only measures the progress and achievement of the learners, but also the effectiveness of the teaching materials and methods used for transaction, which in turn leads to further improvement in the teaching learning process. Now to the term comprehensive. The schooling aims not only at the intellectual aspects of the child, but also takes into consideration the emotional and social development of the child, physical and mental health, etc., thus to the all-round development of personality. Before, the traditional system of evaluation considered the student's achievement in the scholastic area only, but as the success of an individual depends upon the overall development of individuality, equal importance must be given to the co-scholastic area also. This means that along with the evaluation of the scholastic area of the student, personal and social qualities, achievements in sports and games, arts and work experience, etc., are also to be considered. Thus, comprehensive evaluation encompasses all the dimensions of people growth, that is cognitive, affective and psychomotor. While comprehensive means the evaluation of all aspects of the individual, the term continuous means that students are to be evaluated continuously throughout the school year, not just by a year-end examination. This further means integrating evaluation with teaching and learning and making it a part of instructional strategy to get the feedback frequently on student performance, teacher performance, curriculum and materials with a purpose of providing corrective measures. So, continuous evaluation involves regularity of assessment, frequency of unit testing, diagnosis of learning gaps, use of corrective measures, retesting and feedback of evidence to teachers and students for their self-evaluation. The statement given by H.S. Srivastava in his book Curriculum and Methods of Teaching 2010 sums up the concept CCE well. The term continuous emphasizes that the evaluation of the identified areas of personality is a continuous process rather than a combination of isolated unconnected events, that it is built into the total teaching learning process as its integral part and is thus spread over the entire span of an academic session. The second term comprehensive implies that it attempts to cover different aspects of personality beyond the academic ones, that is abilities, skills, qualities, interests, attitudes, values, outdoor activities, etc., and not just academic achievement. The third term evaluation implies that the purpose of the total endeavour is not just the measurement of the level of achievement and the proficiency of the students, but also their improvement through diagnosis and remediation or enrichment. Scholastic aspects include subject specific areas, whereas co-scholastic aspects include life skills, co-curricular activities, attitudes and values. Assessment in scholastic areas is done informally and formally using multiple techniques of evaluation continually and periodically. The diagnostic evaluation takes place at the end of a unit or term as a test. The causes of poor performance in some units are diagnosed using diagnostic tests. These are followed with appropriate interventions followed by retesting. Assessment in co-scholastic areas is done using multiple techniques on the basis of identified criteria, while assessment in life skills is done on the basis of indicators of assessment and checklists. Source is Examination Reforms, NCERT 2006. Another point to remember is that CCE comprises of formative assessment FA and summative assessment SA. The word formative comes from formation, that is formation of the learning process. These are assessments designed to monitor and improve students' progress during the teaching learning process. Any information on learning of a child, for example by written work, oral responses or maybe by simply observing the child, can be used formatively by the teacher to help the learner further. Summative assessment is carried out at the end of a course of learning. It measures or sums up how much a student has learned from the course. School-based CCE has three parts for reporting purpose. Part 1 scholastic area, Part 2 co-scholastic area and Part 3 co-curricular activities. Now we will look into the assessment of each area. Assessment of scholastic area. The assessment here should be both formative and summative. Formative assessment is carried out during a course of instruction for providing continuous feedback to both the teachers and the learners. This helps in taking decisions regarding appropriate modifications in the transactional procedures and learning activities. Summative assessment is usually a graded test, that is, it is marked according to a scale or a set of grades. See the table for the tools and techniques used for assessment of scholastic area. For formative assessment, which has flexible timing. The different tools that can be used are questions, observation schedule, interview schedule, checklist, rating scales, anecdotal records, document analysis, tests and inventories, portfolio analysis, etc. And the techniques that can be used are examinations, assignments, quizzes and competitions, projects, debates, elocution, group discussions, club activities, experiments and research. At the end of the course, as summative assessment, a written test is given containing objective type, short answer and long answer questions. Assessment of core scholastic area. The desirable behavior related to learners' life skills, attitudes, interests, values, co-curricular activities and physical health are described as skills to be acquired in core scholastic domain. With regard to assessment, it comprises of life skills, work education, visual and performing arts, attitudes and values. Life skills are divided into three. First is thinking skills, which includes self-awareness, problem solving, decision making, critical thinking and creative thinking. Second is social skills, which includes interpersonal relationships, effective communication and empathy. Third is emotional skills, which includes managing emotions and dealing with stress. For work education, the work experience activities are gardening, carpentry, chalk or candle making, sewing, arts and crafts, book binding, etc. Then visual and performing arts, any art form. And attitudes and values, which include attitude towards teachers, schoolmates, school programs, environment and value systems. As for co-curricular activities, there are two sub-parts. The first part has 4 activities, that is literary and creative skills, scientific skills, information and communication technology, organizational and leadership skills or clubs, and the students can choose any 2. The second sub-part has 8 different kinds of health and physical activities, which are sports or indigenous sports, NCC or NSS, scouting and guiding, swimming, gymnastics, yoga, first aid, gardening or Shramadhan. Students will be assessed on any 2 activities that are chosen from the 2 parts. The periodicity of evaluation can be day-to-day observation by the teacher, reporting once in every term, annual medical checkup, etc. This type of evaluation has several advantages. It reduces stress on children, make evaluation comprehensive and regular, provide space for the teacher to facilitate creative teaching, provide a tool for diagnosis and for producing learners with greater skills. CCE also helps build children's potential and talent. The child learns through exploration and discovery in a friendly manner. Purpose of CCE. The purpose of CCE can be listed as improving child's learning, helping children to their holistic development, helping teachers to determine child's strengths, identifying learning gaps during the process, providing timely feedback during the process of teaching learning, helping teacher to review or modify teaching learning process to suit children's need, reflecting children's progress based on identified criteria in a simple manner. Grading. For evaluating the learner, we can use 2 systems of evaluation, marking and grading. On an achievement test of total score 100, it is very difficult to distinguish a learner scored 89 with another learner who scored 90. Also, marks have different meaning in different subjects and at different places. In order to overcome such limitations, evaluators all over the world are using the grading system. Grades are used for conveying students' performance with reference to specified criterion and also the relative position of students in their group. Another important point is that grades represent a range and provides a profile of achievement. Grading can be done either directly or indirectly. In direct grading, examiners categorize the answers or answer sheets into different groups according to the quality of answers, and each script in a particular group is assigned the same grade. This can be highly subjective. In non-direct grading, scoring or marking of answer sheet is done first. These marks are then converted into letter grades by two main techniques: absolute grading and relative grading. When absolute quality or level of performance is assigned to each of the grading system, then it is absolute grading. It is also called criterion referenced grading. When grading is made by taking into account the performance of each student in relation to other members of the group, it is called relative grading or norm referenced grading. Nowadays, the most widely used is the 9-point absolute grading system. After giving a score or mark, they are converted into percentages and appropriate letter grades are awarded corresponding to each score. The 9-point grading scale of CBSE for measuring scholastic achievement is like this. 91 to 100 is awarded a grade of A1 and the grade point is 10. For 81 to 90, it is A2 and the grade point is 9. 71 to 80, the grade is B1 and the grade point is 8. 61 to 70, the grade is B2 and the grade point is 7. For 51 to 60, the grade is C1 and the grade point is 6. For 41 to 50, the grade is C2 and the grade point is 5. For 33 to 40, it is D and the point is 4. For 21 to 32, the grade is E1 and the grade point is 3. For 0 to 20, it is E2 with a grade point of 2. Assessment of co-scholastic areas will be done on 5-point scale with grades A, B, C, D and E. Each state will be having their own system of evaluation with 9-point scales and grades like A plus A, B plus B such that, or a 5-point scale, etc. Check out the system of grading in your state. Components of evaluation. In order to ensure continuous and comprehensive evaluation, the educators make use of 3 components of evaluation: continuous evaluation or CE, term-end evaluation or TE, and practical evaluation, which is PE. Continuous evaluation. Here we are evaluating multi-dimensional competencies of the learner with regard to the practicability and nature of the subject. In the activity-based classroom, teacher provides variety of experiences through varied tools. For continuous evaluation, the teacher can use the tools such as project and field study, which come under investigative or inquiry-based activities, seminar and debate, which are interactive based activities, practicals or lab work, which are practical based activities, class test as a performance based activity, assignment and model preparation as assigned activities. Term-end evaluation or TE. This should be in written form, but not to be confined to memory test alone. Test or written examination is an important tool for evaluating the extent of gain of facts, ideas and concepts by the learner. While preparing questions for term-end evaluation, more emphasis should be given to the level of application, analysis, synthesis and evaluation than knowledge and understanding. Practical evaluation. External practical evaluation will be conducted along with the term-end examinations. We have seen the 3 components of evaluation: Next question is how we evaluate the various activities the students are being given. For each activity, there are evaluation indicators or observation criteria that can be assigned a score out of 5 or 4. We will see the evaluation criteria for assignment, seminar and project proposed in a state source book for teachers. Evaluation criteria for assignment. I will read out the indicators and a score of 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 can be awarded. The indicators are awareness of the content, comprehensiveness of the content, systematic and sequential arrangement, on observation, suggestion or views, judgment or evaluation, timely submission. Evaluation criteria for seminar. For seminar, the indicators are ability to plan and organize, skill in collection of data, awareness of the content, ability to prepare the report and skill in communication. For each step, a score of 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 can be awarded. Evaluation criteria for project. The indicators are ability to plan, ability to collect data, ability to analyze data and arrive at conclusion or inference, ability to prepare project report, and knowledge of the content and process. You have already studied in detail about all the steps involved in these activities. Considering each stage of the activity, you can prepare your own indicators for evaluating the student's performance. Usually, the teacher's manual outlines all these in detail. Evaluation of non-cognitive area. Education aims for the all-round development of a child. After learning about CCE, you have become aware of the fact that this totality includes not just the cognitive area, but also include the mental and emotional aspects too. The mental well-being of students has direct relevance to their ability to learn, their interest in learning and their attitudes towards the value of education. Also, learning difficulties are related to a student's personality and the attempts to correct will be more effective if we consider the student's total strengths and weaknesses in both the cognitive and non-cognitive areas. If a teacher knows that the students dislike biology, he or she could employ a variety of techniques to motivate them and instill in them a positive attitude towards the value of studying biology. The teachers can and do capitalize upon the interests and attitudes of their pupils. Now, we will see how we can obtain information about the interest, attitude and skills of students. Measurement of interest. Interest is the central force that drives the whole teaching learning process. Interest can be defined as the objects and activities that stimulate pleasant feeling in the individual. Interests are known to function as motives in a particular activity and the speed with which that activity is learned. Obviously, you can see that a high level of interest means a high level of activity. The important thing to remember is that because pupil interest can influence how they learn, teachers must be concerned with interest measurement. Also, knowledge of an individual's interest provides a sound basis for educational and vocational guidance. An individual's interest, that is the likes and dislikes, the preferences and aversions, can be ascertained in a variety of ways such as direct observation, direct questioning, tested interests and interest inventories. Measuring an individual's interest using interest inventories has proved to be the most fruitful and valid approach. The interest inventory contains statements about various occupations and activities. These statements may be presented singly, in pairs or in triads. The student's response to each of the statements in terms of their preference for or aversion to the activity or occupation. For example, the student is required to select an activity from the list if they are given the opportunity to practice all the 3 activities, that is, join the NCC, join a science club, join a social service league. Some famous tests are Strong Vocational Interest Blank, Minnesota Vocational Interest Inventory and Kuder Interest Inventory. Measurement of attitude. Attitude is defined as a personality disposition or drive which determines behavior towards or opinions and beliefs about a certain type of person, object, institution or concept. Zimbardo and Ebbesen define the affective, cognitive and behavioral components of an attitude like this. The affective component consists of a person's evaluation of, liking of or emotional response to some object or person. The cognitive component has been conceptualized as a person's beliefs about or factual knowledge of the object or person. The behavioral component involves the person's overt behavior directed towards the object or person. Attitudes are not directly observable but are inferred from a person's overt or open behavior, both verbal and non-verbal. You cannot see prejudice or narrow-mindedness, but you can observe the behavior of one who is prejudiced. Though attitudes are relatively stable, especially in adults, there are a number of attitudes that can be developed among the students through the study of various subjects. 2 measuring tools which are commonly used to assess attitudes are Likert Attitude Scale and Thurston's Attitude Scale. In Likert scale, several statements with regard to the attitude to be measured are given and the responses for the statements are obtained in a 3 or 5 point scale. For example, in a scale of attitude towards science, one statement is, I like to be critical in my observation and thought. Students or subjects are to choose their answer from the options given such as agree, undecided, disagree or strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. The responses thus obtained are used to decide the positive and negative attitude of an individual towards a particular area of study or object or profession. Measurement of skill. Skill means the expertness, dexterity, practiced ability and facility in doing something well and or the special ability in a particular field acquired by learning and practice. We can also say that skill is the practical ability to perform any task with expertness, dexterity, mastery and efficiency. In science education, observation and inquiry skills are important process objectives. Students must be encouraged to ask questions, design experiments, find solutions, prepare models, etc. The assessment procedures accordingly must have provision for assessing their observation and inquiry skills also. Practical tests are essential to test manipulative skills and performance. It can also be used to check how the students designs the experiment to prove a principle, plans the entire procedure, handles materials and apparatus and observes and records results. Now let us summarize. In this session, we have had a discussion on the concept continuous and comprehensive evaluation. We also discussed about the evaluation criteria for some of the activities for continuous evaluation. Then a small discussion about evaluating interests, attitudes and skills also was given. Here are some assignments for you. Collect details about status of CCE implementation in your state. Prepare a short note on how CCE could be used as an integral component of teaching learning process. Collect different attitude scales and interest inventories. Find out the differences in the grading system followed by different states. Prepare short notes on different tools used for evaluation. For further understanding about what was discussed in this session, you can use these: Manual for Teachers on School-Based Assessment, Classes 9 and 10, Revised Edition, published by Central Board of Secondary Education, Delhi in the year 2010. This will give you a very detailed idea about CCE. The manual can be downloaded from the CBSE website. The websites of both NCERT and CBSE contain much information about CCE, which will be of assistance to you in understanding the concept of CCE and its implementation in schools. The address: www.ncert.nic.in and www.cbse.nic.in. Sourcebook for Teachers of Biology, prepared by SERT Kerala in the year 2010. You can use the sourcebook and teaching manual prepared by the SERT of your state for further insight into the various activities for CCE. Academic support to states and UTs in CCE implementation at the elementary stage. A report, July 9 to 11 of Department of Elementary Education, NCERT, retrieved from www.ncert.nic.in. Thank you for watching the program. Goodbye.